Hey guys, it's Mike from SAE. This is a quick tutorial on FKIK. In particular, we'll be using an arm. So here we have a character's arm that I've removed. And so first off, we'll just create a few joints. I'll go into, I'll place this into X-ray. And we'll go to our skeleton, our joint tool. I'll just create, say, one here, one at the elbow, one at the wrist, and just one around the end of the palm there where the fingers start. Just for this particular exercise, that's enough. Okay, so in effect, what we're trying to create here with IKFK is you have your bound joints, and then you have a secondary FK joint. So we'll create that, Command D to duplicate, and I'm just going to move that off. Now normally you would have it actually sitting directly on the joints, you wouldn't move them at all, and we'll create a third one. It's just for this exercise. So this will be our FK, this will be our IK, and this is our bound. Okay, so let's carry on. That'll be our FK, sorry, IK, and this will be, so this is our FK and this is our IK. And we're just going to rename these. Best way to do that would be go to Modify, Search and Replace Names, and because we place bind at the back of it, search for underscore bind, and we'll call it underscore IK for these ones, and replace. So now click these ones up here into underscore IK, 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 and we'll do the same for this one. At the moment it's got bind in here, so we shall call this one modify, search and replace, bind, FK, replace, and now FK, 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 FK. We'll just change the name of this one here, so it's just FK, not FK2. There we go. And this one, we don't need IK1. Great. Also, we don't need the ends on these ones, so we'll delete that. We'll delete the one there as well. Is that a bit better? Okay, so here we have our bind, we have our IK, and our FK down the bottom. Great. So let's just create a quick IK handle. So skeleton IK handle tool, and we'll just go from here to the end, and we have a very simple IK. Undo that. We know it works. Okay. And what we're going to do next is actually orient this to the main bind. So we'll select our IK, shift select our bind, and we simply go constrain, which is here, and we'll do an orient constraint, and we want to maintain offset, so that's it, and add that, and now we should be able to rotate. Yep, and they both move. Great, that's fantastic. So that's one joint orientated. So we've got to orient all the joints. Do this one, turn that off actually, shift, select this one, so orient, and we'll do, whoops, this one, do this one, orient, so they're all zeroed out. And you notice when a joint is orientated, in the channel box, they're all blue. Okay, so you can notice that they're all blue, which shows that they have a constraint on them. Now, you'll notice here, because we've created orient constraints, each of the orient constraints has well, there are the constraints here, and you notice they have wrist joint IKWO. Okay, so this is your switching. This is the amount that each one for the orient. So if we switch that to 0, and we'll go to the next one, turn this one to 0, and the shoulder will also place that at 0. So now if you were to rotate these, they probably won't, see, there you go. So if I were to change them back and increase the weight up to 1, then that would kick in again. Okay, so now we'll do the same with the FK. So shift select and constrain, orient, in the center one, constrain, orient, and the tip, constrain, orient. Okay, so I'm correct. Yep, there you go. And we could probably come back in again and check these ones, and we'll 0. So that's for the FK. Okay, so if I click on our bind joints, you'll notice now you have two orients. Okay, we have IKWO and FKWO, IK at the top. So at the moment I've got IKWO to 1. You can come all the way through each one, see that? And this is how you effectively flick between or switch between FK and IK. You just change one to 0 and the other to 1 on any given joint. So what we're going to do is create set-driven keys to control the switching from 1 to 0 on each of these. Okay, so to be able to control the switching, we'll create ourselves a little a controller. So this will be our switch, and we'll call this FKIK switch control. And what do? We always 0 them out, and we'll actually parent this to our wrist. Okay, great. So what we'll actually do is with this controller, our FK switch, FKIK switch, we'll actually create an attribute for it. So sorry, add attribute, and we'll call this FKIK switch, and have a value of 0, maximum of 10, and default will be 0. And we'll add that. We'll close that, and here it is here. Okay. So I've got a lot of attributes over here that I could actually hide. So to do that, I'll go into channels, edit channel control, sorry, and then all these ones here, the ones that I don't want, for example, all of these, I will move them over. So at the moment they're keyable, we'll make them non-keyable. Boom. So this is our only keyable one. Close that. So now we just see our FKIK switch. Great. Next up, we want to create our set-driven keys. So to achieve this, first we need to go into animation, animate, and set-driven key. Click on set, and this is in fact our driver, which is our control. So we'll load driver, and this one here is not our driven. Our driven is in fact going to be the constraints. Okay, so where are our constraints? Here they are. So it's going to be our this constraint and this one here. Whoops, that one and that one. So they will be our driven. And you can notice on each one we have our FK and IK down the bottom. Okay, so let's just select these two for now, and I'm just going to check something. Okay, so we've got IK on at the moment, which is great. Come back down. So IK is on, and we'll say that one. Our FK switch will be our, that's correct. So bind, orient, I'll key that. And then we'll come back to the other two, grab these two, and we'll key those. There you go. So it's turned red over in the channel box for each of them. See that? So they're now keyed. And now we want to flip it to the other side. So what we need to do is change the position. So change this one to 1, this one to 0. Oh, we need to change our value as well. 0 to 10. Now it's at 10. There we go. One and zero, 1 and 0. Let me just check that. So IK should now be 0 and FK will be 1. Whoop. I go key. Need to change these two. This one here to 0 and the other one to 1. Okay. And we'll key those. And now we'll try the switch and we'll see if it's worked. It's on. Now let's flip over, turn it back to FK. Maybe we could bring that in a bit. And now 0, 0, flips to that one, 1, oh sorry, 10, flips to the other one. Okay, great, it's working. So that's FKIK switching, guys. Thank you very much.